All right, continuing coverage of CAWorld. Jeffrey Powers with Geekazine. We're here with John Hawley. How you doing?
Very well, thanks. Good to see you, Jeff.
And this is the first day at CAWorld, so they're still putting up a whole bunch of stuff, and we see the plug back there, and the desk lamp, and the main stage and stuff like that. Anything spark your eye from this conference so far?
I like the idea, the innovation light bulb over there. That's what CA is all about is new innovation, right, and going big. So the idea, or the light bulb, I think, is going to be a popular attraction.
Speaking of innovation, that's what we're talking about here. You deal with the security end of things with CA, correct?
I do. I work on strategy for security. We work with a lot of mid and large size enterprises today, really understanding that new dynamic around security and how to strike the good balance between enabling the business and keeping them secure.
Okay. So what are you announcing here?
We're announcing an extension of a product called CloudMinder, and it enables an organization to make sure that the right sets of users are securely enabling the right sets of applications, not just as an on-premise piece of software, but also as a cloud service.
Okay. So how does that work? Is it for employees that leave or whatnot?
Well, think about what's going on today, Jeff, right? Most organizations are adopting new cloud services. I speak to a lot of large groups, and I ask the chief security officers in the room, how many of those business line managers came to you and asked approval to sign up for those SaaS-based services? Okay. How many do you think said that they came first and they said, let's talk about it together? None.
No, yeah, I was going to say, being an IT administrator myself, I know that doesn't normally happen.
Right, so the business is kind of doing this IT bypass, right?
Okay.
So what they're struggling with today is now I have a lot of enterprise users that are getting access to a lot of cloud services, right? Their identities and their authentication is residing in the cloud. Yeah. So they're struggling with when an employee leaves the organization, how do they know that they no longer have access to those cloud services? Or even how do they get single sign-on to those cloud services, because they're all separate security domains.
How, in a nutshell, does the process work then?
So think about it like this. There's a couple standards that we're leveraging today that are really important for identity. Think about SAML and OAuth as two pieces that allow us to have a standardized way of communicating with cloud providers and with the enterprise. Right? So we allow an organization to have employees authenticate to them. Think about a central identity service. Right? There's one point that they authenticate. And from there, the organization, CA, can say, SaaS provider number one, here's John Hawley, he's authenticated, allow him into the service. Here's John Hawley, go to SaaS provider number two.
So would this be like an OpenID type situation?
OpenID is another standard model for doing that, exactly. Okay. Right, the key there is how do you have a standard model of communicating that this person has been authenticated and here's credentials about them that they can take to another service provider.
And the best part is you don't have to give them hundreds of different passwords, so you don't have to worry about those hundreds of different passwords.
Exactly. So the employee gets the benefit of single sign-on. Okay. The enterprise gets the benefit that they can do multiple levels of authentication. So they may want to have a one-time password token to authenticate to a SaaS service that doesn't do that today. Maybe they only support passwords. Okay. But by saying that you're going to use OpenID or SAML to authenticate that user, they're going to do one-time passwords into CA, and then from there they'll get access to the SaaS providers that make sense for them.
All right, and this has already been implemented, or is this undergoing implementation?
So we do this today. We allow any enterprise to set it up leveraging on-premise software. What we've recently introduced is the ability for them to do it as a cloud service. Okay. So think about it. Most of the applications that an enterprise is using now are cloud-based, right? They exist outside the bounds of the enterprise. Yeah. So why not have that identity service that's doing the authentication and the identity management also live in the cloud? Okay.
With new cloud services coming out daily, do you see risks of this getting compromised, or is this a pretty secure system?
Well, it depends on how mature you are as an organization. Some look at it and say, we think we'd like to keep that on-premise and we'll implement it as software. Many organizations say, you know what, we don't do security really well. We don't have people that understand it, and on staff 24 hours a day, you could do a much better job of it than we can. And it's actually more secure. That's a benefit of using it as a service for them.
That's amazing. Lots of great stuff, and of course, putting everything into the cloud. That's what we're doing nowadays, and we want to make sure that we're all secure. Where do people go? Is there a white paper or something like that people can read up on?
So a lot of our customers, they like the concept of identity as the new perimeter, right? This is the one control point that they can have over their fragmented and distributed IT infrastructure. So we've introduced CloudMinder as an as-a-service capability to address that. So they can visit security.com. And right there, they'll see information on CloudMinder, being able to download white papers and success stories.
Right on security.com.
CAWsecurity.com is CA's security portal.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time there, John.
Pleasure to meet you, Jeff. Thank you.
All right, well, there you go. If you're looking for security solutions for your enterprise, check out CloudMinder. It's a great way to get everything all into one little container so you don't have to worry about it as an IT administrator. Jeffrey Powers here with Geekazine.com. We got more video from CAWorld, so check it all out over at Geekazine.